It's gonna be a good one.
It's gonna be a good one.
Definitely a different type of process.
Cut down or freeze up.
Being a coach's son.
Jackson, of course, they keep retooling. One stone to face, a hit by pitch. Oh my goodness. Hello everyone, welcome inside the Red Earth Production Studios for this edition of the Pressbox, live here Monday, March 31st, last day of March, man.
Tomorrow's April Fool's. You got any pranks?
I've never done anything like that. Have you?
No, not that I know of. I see a lot of crazy stuff online, though.
So if we say something today, though, if we tell people, watch this, we're going to have like Mike Trout on the show.
They could believe you. Who knows? They might. We could.
They might. We could. And it's, April Fool's thing, I've never done anything like that. No, I haven't, to answer your question. It's a good thought because I honestly don't think about it that much.
Yeah, it kind of gets in the wash. But yeah. I do see some crazy stuff. Like I had seen Sour Patch Kids put out a thing and said that they're no longer sour and that they're just Patch Kids. So
that's funny.
Yeah.
I like that. Joined here by the dude, Evan Schenck, G.A.C. North Insider. Appreciate you coming in, man.
No problem.
I hope you've been enjoying his stories and articles. He's covering the G.A.C. North. He's here on the show with us today. We're going to talk some baseball. We got live updates happening as we speak. I'm looking at some scores. We always like to start. We're going to start with some small schools, but a lot of the small schools I don't see on here. We got to see if they'll do some game changer and whatnot for us, right?
Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to look at this, and I got to see if I don't think they're playing today. I think I already have them on here. Oh, yeah, I do. I'm a fan. Yeah, they play tomorrow. Oh, no, they're playing today. Let's see. Because we're going to talk, I should do this. The press box, we're here. We're going to look at baseball throughout the state. We're going to look at all the different classes. And I want to do this, Evan, because I think this is very interesting. Last year, I've seen these teams. We kind of come at the tail, and I'm hoping at some point we can stay the whole week and really cover all of the classes there at the Misha State Championships because it's good baseball. And two teams that really stand out in Class 1 and have over the past, say, 10 years, pretty dominating is the Oran, I forget. I think it's Oran Eagles. Mm-hmm. Head coach Joe Bickings, St. Elizabeth Hornets, and I'm going to kick myself in the tuchus here because I forgot. I believe they're in District 9. St. Elizabeth, did I pass them? There, boom, I was correct. Did not look at the head coach, Caleb Heckmeyer, for St. Elizabeth. These two teams have been just beating up on everybody for the past, I don't know how long. It's been a while. We're going to see how long, actually. But Oram was playing the Vienna High School Eagles. It was shown live. They're delayed in the top of the fourth. I guess there must be some rain still.
Yeah.
Hanging around. I believe that's what it was. It's 16-4 is the score. It's showing.
I don't know. I've seen some high scoring games lately.
Some kookiness that way. Let me see if we can pull up some St. Elizabeth. I don't know if they're on here. What we're doing is we're using Game Changer. And St. Elizabeth Varsity Hornets right there. Boom. A fan. And it shows that was from that was March 29th though. I think Oran won. I'm going to go back. We're going to look at a couple things. So that's still that's gotten jacked up because right now St. Elizabeth is playing Vienna as we speak. That's what it shows here. This 31st, not the 29th. And it's 2-0 Elizabeth. Let's go back here, and we're going to take a look at Oran and look at their schedule a little bit here. Actually, see, that doesn't even show the 29th. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
We're only showing that they've played 2 games so far. Oran's played Bloomfield, who is 6-1, and I believe Bloomfield is they're a Class 2 District 3. They're 6-1, and here's the thing about this, kids. I want to share with you is that's Logan Rogersville. I messed that up. Let me get over here. Boom, there it is. That Bloomfield is 6-1, and Oran beat them 15-7. Portageville was next up on the list, who is 6-2, and Portageville is a Class 3. They're in District 1 at 6-2. They've beat some pretty good teams here. Played Oran and lost 8-5. So that's how this team, Oran is a very good baseball team. They play very well. They play a tough schedule. They don't back away. But you've got, since 2008, the Oran Eagles have had 8. Since 2008, they've had 8 Final Four appearances with 4 state titles, and they won it last year in 2024. 2013, 18, 21, and 24, Oran has won the state championship in Class 1. They finished in second place in 2022. They have 3 third-place finishes in 08, 11, and 12. And so this team is used to winning over the past, what is that now, almost 20 years.
Yeah.
They have put together some really good teams. This year, they're led by Ryland Mills, the catcher, the SEMO commit. Also right-handed pitcher from going to Three Rivers G.A.C. is Parker Bryan, and I'm sure there's other guys. Not quite sure where we're at with that and who, but we'll find out some more information, and we're going to be following Oran throughout the season because they're just a really good baseball team, and I think they are on track to maybe do it again.
Yeah, it looks like they've created a dynasty almost here. I don't know what they're feeding these kids over in Oran, but they can hit the ball, I can tell you that.
It's true. So, and then on the other side of that, in District 9, the St. Elizabeth Hornets, they have 7 Final Four appearances since 2008.
Wow.
They got state titles in 2019, 2022, back-to-back in 23. 2 second-place finishes in 18 and 21, 2 fourth-place finishes in 2010 and 2011. And this team is loaded for bear again, led by Brady Kemna. He's slashing. This is a great slash line early in the season, 462, 625, and 538. That's almost 1,200 OPS, a double, 3 RBIs, 7 runs scored, 8 base on balls, and 9 stolen bases. Sam Lutkemeyer slashing 444, 667, 667, a triple, 2 runs scored. Noah Chipman is chipping in. You like that?
Yeah.
364, 417, 409, a double, 4 RBIs, 5 runs scored. Where Eli Kemna, and now I don't know if that's his brother or his cousin or what, but I would imagine maybe a brother.
Probably, I'd say.
10 innings pitched, 15 Ks. He's got a .7 whip, or .7, ERA. He's got a .7. That's below 1. .7 ERA. His whip is .800, and his opponent's batting average. This is the one that I love. The opponent's batting average against, when you're pitching against him, he's only at $167. They're not even hitting the Mendoza line against this guy.
Yeah, wherever he's throwing, they cannot see.
Nope. And then Gavin Williams is 8 2/3 innings pitched, 10 Ks. He's got an 8.08 ERA and a WHIP that's 0.8 as well. I said 8.8, didn't I? It's 0.8. It's under 1. It's a sub 1 ERA as well. Opponent batting average. Do you see that?
I see it.
What is it?
0.037.
0.037 opponent's batting average.
That's probably the lowest number I've ever seen.
I've never seen anything like that. I don't care, class 1, class 0, class whatever. You got an OBA of .037.
It looks like they got some hidden gems down in there.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be very interesting. These two juggernaut programs in Class 1, they're both very good. They're both playing well. I'm looking forward to following these two teams throughout the season.
Yeah, and I'm seeing with the 8 Final Four finishes and the 7 Final Four finishes, I wonder how many times in those years they've met each other in the playoffs, and if there's any kind of bad blood there knocking each other out. But who knows with the bracket siding and the district placements and stuff like that. But there could be something there. They might have a little bad blood with these two juggernauts.
It's good you asked. I like that. So, we're in the wrong one here. I'm going to go right here. That's the history. Let's go to the state tournaments. Boom. We can see this. I like this. I don't know, Drew, if you can put this up on the screen or not. We're in the Misha. I don't know if you've got it or not. Let's see. Here they did not. St. Elizabeth won in 2019. So, do we see Oran here? I don't see Oran even.
No.
Yep,
here.
up here. They lost to Cooter in the first round, okay, in 2019. 2020 was a bum year.
Yeah. Oh, right there.
There it is. State championship final. Oran, that's in 2021 when they won the state championship. It was a St. Elizabeth Oran. There you go. Look at that.
Yeah.
I love that stuff. Drew, if you go to the state, if you go to the state championship tournaments in that feed, you'll be able to pull that up, the brackets.
I mean, looking at these scores, it looks like both teams just, at least in this year, just dominated their way through.
And look, that was a 3-0 ball game.
Yeah.
Right in 2021. So if you go to 2022,
they meet again.
it was a rematch, man.
Yep.
And this one went to St. Elizabeth.
Yeah. I honestly wonder how many times they have met over those years.
That's awesome, dude. That's a great one. So here they are duking it out in this. Now St. Elizabeth was back-to-back in 23. Oh, Oran fell a little short here. Again, losing to Cooter in the first round. So they would have met here in the, looks like, semifinals.
Yeah. I mean, they can't see it yet, but St. Elizabeth wiped Cooter this year. 23, so.
Yeah. In 2024, Oran was in the state championship, beat Sacred Heart. St. Elizabeth lost to Sacred Heart in the first round, and Sacred Heart was in the championship game against Oran.
So they're both making it deep, or they're having off years. They're either losing the first round or making it deep, but they're playing competition, but it looks like they're just dominant. It looks like they actually have a real dynasty on Class 1 here.
Let's go back and take a look at some of these way back in the Wayback Machine. Let's go to 2008. I love this. So here's 2008 when, let's see, is a third place finish for, Oh, must have been looking at the wrong 2010. Sorry. That's 2009 for one, so I'm looking in the wrong year. Got to get my eyes checked. There it is. Iran finished in third place, and St. Elizabeth, I don't see them in this one. They didn't get into it. So that was right at the beginning, 09. We're looking, we got nothing here. It doesn't look like either team actually got there that way. So that was interesting. 2010 was another year though. They made St. Elizabeth made a run. They got to got fourth place there. I don't see Oran in this one. 2011, fourth place finish for St. Elizabeth again. Oran beat them.
Yeah, wiped them.
There
wiped
it
them
is.
there.
So these two teams have been playing in this against each other. My goodness. You got to love that. That's 2011. They played each other again, but there was third and fourth place game. 2012, Iran was in the semifinals. They took the third place game. St. Elizabeth, do you see him? I don't see him in this one here. No. So 2012, 2013, Iran wins the state title. St. Elizabeth, a couple down years. I think I looked at that. I think right through here they had some down years. And it took them a little while to get back. This is 2014.
And it looks like Cooter's kind of running the dynasty too. I keep seeing them.
Yeah, Cooter's
come up here.
always there. Cooter, they won it in 2014. So we'll have to check them out as well. I love this stuff with the Class 1. I mean, there's not a lot of love here for Class 1. People don't do it. I think it's great. I don't see Oran or Cooter or everybody's finally like, dang, yeah, keep them home.
Yeah.
We get a chance. 2015, Bell City won it. Bell City won the title over Atlanta. That's a little small town up north of central Missouri, north central Missouri. And 2016, I think we went Bell City back to back. Look at that.
Good.
There you go. 2016, no Oran.
Elizabeth lost in that first round there.
Yeah, they did. Boom, they were back in it there in 2016. And then they started the big runs again. Bell City, 3 in a row, dude. Look at that. 3 in a row. Bell City. They had some dudes.
Yeah.
They had some dudes. St. Elizabeth was in it. They got into the quarters and lost to Wellsville Middleton. So 2017, and that's the last time. And then 2018, they're both back. Oran won it over St. Elizabeth in 2018. Green City was back there. Green City is another one. They were there last year. We'll talk a little bit about. So that's a little history there. I love that part. So checking that out, seeing what is happening with the small schools. And we got some small schools. Class 2, Valley Catholic is on a mission. They're beating everybody in their path. It doesn't matter who it is. If you can beat Valley Catholic, you're doing something. I'll tell you that right now, folks. Valley Catholic's another team with a great tradition. State championships in 09, 14, 15, 16, 18. Just kind of running the table on folks that way. Let's see. Let's get back to see what their schedule is. They're 6-0, beating. They beat Orchard Farm, Hillsboro. They beat Festus 7-0, which is no small feat. Mm-hmm. And so it doesn't matter. Hillsboro's a Class 5, Festus Class 5, Orchard Farm Class 4. I know Fredericktown is a Class 4 school as well. Mm-hmm. So this Class 2 school, Valley Catholic, got to watch them. They're going to get some stuff done out there, I think. So going to be a tough team to beat. We'll talk a little bit more about. Chaffee's another one. We both, Evan and I asked him, I said, do you know where Bernie High School is?
No. I think I look at the map sometime and I look at the district seating. I'm like, dude, I don't think I've ever been up there.
Right.
Like up in that top corner or up north. I'm like, I don't know if I've ever been there.
Bismarck, I've seen Bismarck High School. They've been in the Final Four. Archie High School, never heard of it.
No.
Right? And then you got down here, I did this because this was cool. In Class 2, the last couple of years, in 2023, Ash Grove won the state title, going 25-0.
It's a feat.
How hard is it to go undefeated in high school baseball? In
It's
any
hard.
baseball?
Because you can have one slip up, one off day, and it's all over. You look over somebody and they catch you slipping, and then your whole run's over. And I wouldn't imagine the pressure it is being that pitcher on that day. So
Being in the state championship, you're undefeated, and you lose that one.
yeah,
Oh, man.
yeah.
That'd be brutal, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I agree. The next year, Iberia decided to go, we're going to one-up you. They did 3 more wins, 28-0. So back-to-back years in Class 2, Ash Grove and Iberia High School were the state champs in Class 2, going undefeated.
Yeah.
Back-to-back years. That is absurd.
Yeah, I've never seen it done in baseball. So
That was crazy. I looked at that and I'm like, whoa, I never saw that. So hopefully what I want to do, I'm hoping to get on the show here. If we can do that, I'm going to reach out to these coaches and I'm going to see if we can get them on the show, talk to them about those years, because I think that's fantastic. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. Crazy. So that's a little history there, Class 2. Class 3 is coming up there again, Portageville. Lone Jack has got the big stud pitcher. I'm trying to remember his name. We'll come back to that where hopefully Fatima's going to be good. Valley Park down Valley Park, South County, right? They're good. They're always good. They're competitive. That's a good baseball team down there. I think Class 3 has a lot of good baseball teams.
yeah, a lot of teams here that could easily compete with some of the higher ups, like before the show we were talking about Licking. There's a pretty good team there. North Callaway, that's a good team, good squad there.
And speaking of North Callaway, it was one of our must-see games today, and we're following this one. I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to get the inning. In the middle of the 5th inning, North Callaway, Class 3 school, playing the California Pintos, California High Schools, middle of the state, just south of Jeff City. Class 4 school, one of our, they finished in the top 20 last year in our rankings. North Callaway's up 5-2.
They can compete.
Middle of the 5th. Little box score here. You got for California, Jay Schreck going 4 innings, allowing 5 earned runs on 3 base on balls. He's got 5 Ks. And don't know the first name, last name Bell. 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 Ks for the North Callaway pitcher. So, there you go. That's a little up to date on that one. So that was a must one. I think that's interesting watching North Callaway here with Class 3, who's going to be the team here. Scott City is down south towards Cape. They're 5-0. Lawson High School 6-0. West Platte 4-0. Licking, which has always been good for the last few years, they're 2-1 to start. So Lutheran North, who would have thought? 4-1.
I didn't know they were Class 3.
Right? I think they're probably, Lutheran North was always in that district with Duchesne. I think they're glad to see Duchesne going.
Yeah. Yeah, they're out of there.
It's like, yeah, Coach Green down there, he's probably like, I appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. So we're going to get to Class 4 here. We've got our who's hot and who's not section. Starting off with our with Logan Rogersville, 5-1, jumping up in the rankings. Probably overlooked it. It's always interesting. I think for me that this kind of week is a moving week to see, did I misjudge a team? Did I not know enough about a team? Which is usually true is what it is. It's user error.
Yeah.
I have no problem saying it because you're trying to get as much information as you possibly can about some of these teams, and it's just hard to do.
And in week one, you got those first game jitters. So some teams either play a tougher schedule to begin with, and like we talked about last week, only having 2 or 3 games under your belt, trying to make decisions, ranking teams, seeing who they're playing, stuff like that. It's hard. So you may end up overlooking somebody, and they may think they should be higher or whatsoever. But as you get into the year, things usually level out.
Yeah, and in this, I don't move a lot of people. Like Benton, 3-3. They're still number 2 team in the state. They've scuffled here and there, but they're playing a tough schedule. I don't think it warrants anything. Blair Oaks, after we saw them on Wednesday, traveled down, play Logan Rogersville, and I'm trying to remember who else it was. I'm look, and lost both games. Well, you come off a good win, you're down, you go down that way, you have to travel to Springfield. It's not just an easy trip. Go down there and lose a couple games. Logan Rogersville is a very good team. I believe they played Fatima and lost to Fatima. So, it's one of those things that do I think Blair Oaks deserves to be dropped? No, it's week 1.
And that's one of those things is a lot of people who don't dig deep and follow it, they see the record and they say, oh, they're 3-3. How can they be this high? And they don't really account for what they've done, who they have, and who they're playing and stuff like that.
Right. So I think it bears noting. Logan Rogersville, the Wildcats, they've got wins. That's right. It was Logan Rogersville that played Fatima. I think Blair Oaks lost to Springfield Catholic. Springfield Catholic, Logan Rogersville. Springfield Catholic's another one. They're right in the middle. I was looking at them. They've got off to a where's Springfield Catholic? They're Class 5. That's right. So they're not even in this one. Not in Class 4. They're Class 5. They're number 15 in Class 5. They're 3-4. So, but they're playing good quality competition. That's why you're like, they're fine.
Yeah.
We'll, be cool. And Tegan Trent, sophomore, hitting 333, 364, 429, 2 doubles, 4 RBIs for Logan Rogersville. Charlie Greer's pitching well, 11 1/3 innings. Opponent's batting average, $1.35. An ERA of 1.23, and a WHIP of 1.14. When you got pitching like that, you're going to win some ball games.
Yeah.
Right? They've got a sophomore, Nathaniel Eakins. It's pitching well for him. Guys hitting the ball. Cooper Wagner, 4.29, a 4.55, and a 4.29 slash line. Cash Clark is a 4.12, 5.45, 5.88. He's got a double, a triple, 6 runs scored. They're getting it done. That's about, where it is. And you got Logan Rogersville jumping up there. I think that's going to be one of the tough teams to beat at this point here. They're very young, though, so we'll see. But they're proving that they can play very well. One of my movers, though, as a hot team in this is the Mexico Bulldogs. Mexico, they're 7-1 in the early part of this season. We're going to get to Class 4 here. They're in the middle part of the state, north central part of the state. They're in District 7 along with Moberly, which I think is going to be tough. They're in Boonville and Kirksville. I mean, Hallsville's not a bad team. That district is going to be very difficult to win. You got 3 ranked teams in there right now. And Mexico has started off 7-1, beating Houston, Halfway, Naylor, Ellington. Then they beat Macon, which is a 4-3 team. Eldon is their only loss at 4-2, and I think Eldon is a very good team. They beat up Southern Boone this past weekend, 12-6, and beat Owensville 9-0. And I've got a little bit here. Where's that? Boom, there it is. Just some love for these guys here. Austin Maxwell was 2 for 4 against Southern Boone. 2 for 4 with an RBI, a double. Chance McCarty was 2 for 5 with 2 RBI and a double. Landon Hilderman finished 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs. Cooper Bledsoe added 2. They were just dement. I don't know his first name. He was 3 for 5 with an RBI and a double. Everybody was hitting. Braden Arnold was 2 for 2. Brady Fox, Jaden Eldridge, and Sam Ryan each had 2 hits. 8 Bulldogs with multi-hit games against Southern Boone. That's an accomplishment, man. That is an accomplishment. So Mexico off to a hot start. It'll be interesting to see how they continue to play throughout the season. I'm looking forward to seeing that. And then you have I want to talk a little bit. We have a player spotlight in Class 4 that's coming out after the show tonight, right, Drew? It'll be on so as soon as you're done here, you can go right in. Lucas Wheatholder, he's the shortstop for Father Tolton, who is our number 3 team in the state, 4-0-1. He's off to a good start. He's going to SLU, right? So you'll actually here in the St. Louis area, if you want to watch Lucas play college ball, you can go right over to St. Louis University and watch him.
Yeah.
There you go. And so we had a great conversation with Lucas. I met him when he was a freshman at a prep baseball event in Columbia, Missouri. I think it was him and Matthew States. Matt States was, I'm pretty sure it was maybe a couple of those guys. Talked to him. Been following him ever since. Got him on Player Spotlight. So make sure you check that out. As soon as we're done here, that'll be up and ready to go. You can watch our Player Spotlight with Lucas Wheatholder from Father Tolton High School, the Trailblazers. Evan, you got some cool stuff. Class 4 is kind of right where the G.A.C. North sits, besides Warrenton.
Mm-hmm. And I think Holt's Class 5.
Holt's Class 5 still, yes. Are they Class 4?
I looked it up and it said they were Class 5. Unless
then you're correct.
I hope I'm correct.
I'm sure you are.
Hopefully.
I'm sure you are. Talk to us a little bit. You had a great article. It's up right now on Youth Baseball Midwest on the Pressbox. Great article. Good conversation with Coach Bickle. Mm-hmm. And St. Charles off to their best start since 2020.
Yeah. They're playing well. They picked up a good win on a doubleheader against Fortune Wall East.
I know.
Fortune Wall East 1-4 in the past week. What's going on there?
It's hurting my feelings. It's a struggle.
And then they went on and beat Parkway North as well. Then they lose to Duchesne.
Yeah.
Good team there. Everybody knows.
Right.
But they like we said, they have the best start in, what do we say, 7 years?
Since 2020.
Since 2020, not 7 years.
6 years, yeah.
5-6 years there. But they're
it's actually 2019 because you can't count the 2020 season because of the COVID year, but nobody played.
Yeah. So, 4-3, let's see here. They won 6 games last year. So
right.
They're already almost beating that. Obviously, we haven't gotten into conference play yet, so we won't be able to see what they do against them. But it looks like they have great momentum. Yeah, I talked with their coach, and he said that they have 9 seniors this year, and they're focusing on a little bit of that senior leadership, but also a little bit of friendly competitiveness, saying mm-hmm. like he talked about how they scheduled 34 games this year, and they have a big roster of about, I think he said 24 kids. So he wants to make sure that these kids everybody gets time playing, but also if you have that spot, you need to still compete to keep that spot. So I think with this kind of new mindset going in this year, and the kids that do it, like Nate Mosley, he looks like he's been their number 1 pitcher. He's been playing great, only allowed 1 hit in 8 innings. Caden Hammer has made his return after injury this year, and he's already been making an impact. He's driven in 3 RBIs. Braden Reed picked up 7 RBIs. So, I feel like they have the pieces to do it, especially the depth to do it, as long as they keep that culture that they're trying to build.
Caleb McCullen hitting .333. He's got 4 ribbies, a double. I love Caden Hammer's line. He's got 4 doubles on the season. He's got up to date, and this maybe you may not have seen it, 5 RBIs.
Oh yeah, this is from late last
4
week.
Doubles, so. Man. Caden Hammer's hitting the ball well. I love the slugging.
Yeah, it said that he was coming back from injury. I'm not for sure what that how severe what that was, but
Right.
I'm sure it's great to have him back.
Right. This is where I think it's going to be interesting for the St. Charles Pirates on the pitching side.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. I think that's going to be the key. Matthew Robertson has got a 1.62 ERA early on in the season. He's 1-1 though. He's pitched well, 8 2/3 innings, and a 1.62 ERA. That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Nate Mosley's 2-0. Look at that, dude.
Yeah, 0.88.
Sub 1 ERA in 8 innings, and along with Luke Whitty, who's 1-0, 8 innings pitched. He has no ERA. He hadn't allowed a run.
Wow.
Not one. So you got 3 guys that can pitch, but the trouble is are these guys below going to be it? Mason Hickerson has done some good job, but some of these guys, man, are just not doing well. Uh-oh.
Just got the notification.
You got an update.
Warrenton
What's
lost.
the update?
Warrenton lost 9-4 to Union. We'll get into that later.
Yeah, you have to know he's a Warrenton High School student, senior year. So, I understand, baby. Yeah. I get it. I tell people I root for Zumwalt East. I'll tell the truth about them, but heck, I want East to win.
Yeah.
It's what it is, right?
Yeah. Moving into more Class 4, we'll go to St. Charles West. They played 1 game against Battle, and I think it's time. I think it's time for the first helmet sticker. We're gonna
Do it.
Brendan Goring pitching a perfect game, 21 up, 21 down, 14 Ks. Nothing better than that.
Perfect game.
Nothing better.
Brendan Gehring, man. Come on, baby. I'm sorry. I have to apologize real quick because I missed that. I missed it. I don't know how, but I missed it. My bad, dog.
Perfect game. You don't see that a lot.
No.
You don't.
Man, we should have reposted that and slapped it all over everywhere. I'm so sorry, Brendan.
They'll move in and play for your Fort Zumwalt East tomorrow, which I think it's going to be a great game. Fort Zumwalt East, they had a rough week last week going 1-4, so I think they're definitely might try and blow off some steam on St. Charles West, but I think it'll be a good matchup.
Where's it at? Is it at East or West?
I want to say it was at East. I'm not 100% sure.
I'm going to look right here. I got it right here. Dun dun dun.
Yep,
at Zumwalt East.
And then they'll go play the Shin day after that. I didn't see that.
Oh my gosh! And then John Burroughs, St. Charles West's schedule: East, Duchesne, John Burroughs. Then they open up G.A.C. play with Warrenton.
Mm-hmm.
Then Blair Oaks at Jeff City, Jefferson City, Timberland, Gateway Lakes. I mean,
That's some heavy hitters there.
you could see. I honestly, St. Charles West. That is as tough a schedule as it gets in Class 4.
Yeah, it's a
Right?
stretch there.
I mean, wow.
We'll see
Coach
how they weather the storm, but I think they'll do all right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They've always done all right,
Yep. They compete.
Moving to Orchard Farms, they picked up their first win against Parkway North, 13-3. They're struggling early. When I had talked to Coach Brennan Sugar, he said that their early stretch was definitely pretty hard for them. They moved to 1-4, but it's not like they're showing bad. Like, it's not like they're all playing bad. They're showing good production, and it looks to hopefully that they get back on track. But with having that such a young team and having that transition period with having a new coach and stuff like that, you can definitely see where some of that may come into play. Brady Rosenberg, I think.
Yeah, Rosenberg. Yep.
5 innings pitched, 13 Ks. He's batting .421. Blake Dittmeyer looks to be continuing what he started freshman year, .400. He's driven in 7 RBIs the last time I looked. But it does look like they're going on a pretty rough stretch here. They'll play Fort Zumwalt South the 2nd, then they'll go play East on the 4th, and then they'll go into a double header against 2 teams over the weekend, I'm pretty sure. So they're going to have a lot of games to play, and hopefully a lot of maybe experimentation if they wanted to see what's really working for them. And they have a lot of pitchers putting in sets, so hopefully they land themselves on their top big 3 and stuff like that. Moving into Winfield, still don't have a lot on them. They haven't played a lot of games. They don't have stats in. They lost in quite the shootout to the STL Patriots that we talked about last week, 15-16. And then actually, if I remember here, let me check this score. They beat Clopton 4-1 today.
Oh, very good.
So they'll move to 2-3. But like I said, not a lot that I can tell you about them because they don't have their stats in.
Right.
And looking on their social media and stuff, you can't really find much. So, but I think they're kind of the dark horse maybe this year, a little. So we'll hope to see that they get back in that race because the G.A.C. North is, I mean, looking here early, it's going to be competitive this year. So
it's not going to be easy, bro.
Yeah, it's not.
Not going to be easy. We're going to update some scores here. Logan Rogersville is down 9-2, but they're playing Nixa at Nixa. That can be very difficult. Another Class 4 team, Nevada. The Tigers playing Frontenac Varsity Raiders. It looks like it's 0-0. I don't see any start to it. It's kind of hard sometimes. I love this. Small school Purdy, Varsity Eagles playing Cassville. Nothing there just yet. St. Michael the Archangel. Oop, I hit the wrong one. There it is. No, that was it. St. Michael the Archangel, Bishop. I believe that's Maggie, Varsity. Not sure. Might be in Kansas, but St. Michael the Archangel, they've dropped a little bit in the poll. Class 4, they're up 10-5 right now. Aurora is losing to Marshfield. Marshfield is a Class 5 school. The Hound Dogs, it's 14-7. This kind of a Class 4 kind of breakdown. Moberly continuing to do their thing. They're undefeated still. They're beating Kirksville, and Kirksville's a good squad. Beating Kirksville 7-0 right now. Cade Baum is pitching in that one. He's still in the game. I'm going to look at a box score here. I want to see something here. Cade Baum has gone 5 1/3, 1 hit.
There we go.
3 base on balls and 8 Ks. Cade Baum. Boom, baby. I love that. Go ahead and throw a helmet sticker on that. Well, no, we can't. Can't do that until it's a win. Give him the old whammy there, man.
Yeah.
That'd have been bad. I can't do that. My bad. Seneca is playing. I've never heard of Gravette Varsity Lions. I guess that's a Missouri team. I'm not sure. They're up 5-3. So Seneca, Class 4 school. As we said, North Callaway is still up 6-2. Increased their lead over California. You got Fulton and Eldon. Fulton up 7-4 over Eldon.
Wow.
So Kearney, again, playing way above their pay grade as right? Boom. No, that's Class 5. We're not there. We're not there yet. As you said, Winfield got a win there. And Knob Noster lost 1-0 to Holden. Oh, my gosh. St. Clair, 5-1 over Potosi.
Here we go.
Okay. Union, we're going to get there. We're not there yet. So Salem lost 19-1 to Dutchman High School. My goodness, that's tough. Nixa, it's final now, 10-2 over Logan Rogersville. So we're going to get to some finals. We're going to move to class. Keep an eye on some of these schools in Class 4. If you want to see the rankings for Class 4, go to the website, youthbaseballmidwest.com. Go to our high school page. You can click on it there. Drew's got that up for you. You can see where the rankings are. Lutheran South 5-2-2, Dexter is 5-2, Stratford 6-2, Hollister right there at 4-2. I think there's some teams to watch here as we get into the season. Class 5, we're going to talk about the Smithville Warriors, team that's hot coming in here. Smithville we put them at number 8 in our weekly rankings. This is a team I think I overlooked. I watched them last year. They were there. It was one of those teams, but don't know. They're on the east or west side of the state. But Smithville, man, Jake Druce, right-handed pitcher, committed to State Farm State Fair Community College, Drake O'Neal, or Odneal, I guess, Odneal. If I messed that up, sorry. Also a State Fair commit. Owen Mitchell, the shortstop, Johnson County Community College. He is committed there. Riker House, a catcher. They got some 2026. Brant Cook, a right-handed pitcher. Barrett Iverson, Mason Jones, Bryce Whitney. I think it's interesting because it's first-year head coach Luke Temporelli. And we're going – let me get this up. I'm going to read – this was in the Prep Baseball, their preview. It says, we will look to compete on the mound as we return near all of our innings from 2024. So they have all their pitchers, almost all their pitchers back. Our guys gained valuable varsity experience last year, and we look to continue to develop. We have a group of hardworking seniors that are accountable defensively. We have multiple players with the ability to play all over the diamond, and we'll look to develop depth and quality at bats from the lower half of our order. That's from the coach. We're continuing to understand the ways to flip our lineup over. So you can see where his challenges were, looking at defense, developing that, and the bottom of his order. But it looks like so far at 5-1, they've had some success. I believe they're in District 8. Yes, they are, and that's a tough district. But they lost to Staley, juggernaut, number 3 team in the state in Class 6. They beat Maryville, Raytown South. They beat Ray-Pac, Class 6 school. Solid program, 4-3. They beat them. They beat St. Pius X, Kansas City. They beat Central St. Joseph, which is 4-2. They're playing Kearney tomorrow. One of our must games to watch. This is a great Class 5 matchup. Kearney taking on Smithville tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. So we'll be paying attention to this one. If you're in that area, it's a great game to watch right there. Mm-hmm. Great game to watch. So Smithville is one of those teams that's hot. Look for them. Webb City, on the other hand, Coach Donig probably trying to figure things out. Off to a 1-5 start. Losses to Logan Rogersville and Carl Junction. Carl Junction is in that district. So losing, that's a district loss.
Yeah.
Not to mention a conference loss.
Yeah.
So you're talking about some really tough situations there. You know what? I can't remember if Carl Junction is COC or if they're Ozark Mountain. I'd have to look again. But that's a tough one, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how Webb City can kind of maybe turn that one around. I can't remember if they were playing today. That's right. Webb City's got Nixa. So again, here you go. Nixa just put a beat down on Logan Rogersville. They got Webb City coming in tomorrow. It's going to be interesting, man. You're stepping up in weight class. Nixa is one of the best teams in the state, period, in Class 6, period.
More than baseball.
Yeah, so that's gonna be interesting. I wish we're gonna be down. We've got a live stream game with Coach Donig against Joplin at the end of the season, so it'll be interesting to see how they right the ship. I believe they will. They got talent. It'll be interesting. I don't know if they've got injuries. I didn't have a chance to reach out to Coach Donig before we came on. I want to do that this week. I'm going to reach out to him. And see if there's, some mitigating circumstances, some injuries maybe that have popped up. I don't know. But it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, it will. Because, 1-5, you could chalk some of those up to bad days, but it's going to sting once you get later down the road.
Yes.
And especially those conference games. And if they're in your conference and district, it means even more. And some of those, you can't just let those slide in baseball, especially because – It can really come back to bite you with those district points and trying to get the legacy with conference and stuff like that, because it's tight in baseball.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And, so I think it's going to be it's not – Carl, like I said, they're, Carl Junction right there. And Carl Junction's not a bad baseball team. They're on the season. They're 4-3. They played a lot out of state in Oklahoma and Kansas early on in the season. They beat Hollister 10-0, which is a 4-2 team. I think they're Class 4 though. They had the win over Webb City, and they, Carl Junction's got Glendale today. It looks like it was at 4:30. I don't know. I haven't seen that just yet. Let me see if they're on. I don't see anything here. So hopefully we can get an update on that for too long and see what gives with that squad. St. Elizabeth, man, 10-0 over Vienna. Woohoo!
There you go.
Jeez. So, let's see. One of the things I want to share too also, remember the player spotlight with Lucas Weedholder. The Midwest Classic is going on right now. The Midwest Classic is always a fun one. We're going to be live streaming the championship game of the Midwest Classic this Saturday. You don't want to miss it. It'll probably be in the afternoon. We're looking forward to that. We'll keep you up to date on what's going on with the Midwest Classic as well. Before I get too far away, man, North Callaway, 9-2 now over California. Here's one that's interesting, Class 5, St. Dominic. At home against DeSmet Jesuit, and leading that game 4-3. Oops, I don't want to do that. And we'll kick the sound. The sound is off. Top of the 8th, so it went to extra innings. We're gonna get rid of the sound here. Sorry, folks. That was loud, but there we go. Top of the 8th, went to extra innings, 4-3 right now. Dominic should be over if it was top of the 8th. I don't know. Sometimes the game changer is a little wonky, folks. Timberland down 9-4 over Lafayette. Class 5, though, I want to finish up. We're taking a look. Here's a team I think it's going to be interesting to see is Bolivar. Has got off to a 5-1 start. They've beat Fairgrove, Pea Ridge, Belton, which, Lighthouse Senior High, Hillcrest, and Buffalo. Not a tough schedule.
No.
So I want to see how Bolivar does, with that. We're going to look at some teams at the bottom here. Warrensburg is another one. I know a lot of those kids from other Eli Deffenbaugh, Charlie Morgan. That's a good baseball team, Warrensburg. I'm interested to see how well they come out in this season and play. They're in that tough District 5 with Camdenton, who has made a push. There's another team, 5-1. Capital City, Elias Catholic, Jefferson City, Marshall. Union is in that one. Mm-hmm. And we're going to get to that here just a second. And Washington. But Warrensburg has been playing some pretty good baseball. They are 4-3. They've lost to Smith Cotton, Ray-Peck. Beat Knob Noster, Oak Park, West Plains, and McDonald County. Lost to Republic today. Republic, though, is 7-2, Class 6 school. It was respectable, 3-0. It wasn't they didn't just, get beat up, right?
They didn't run away with it at all.
So we had the game going on. The big one, must-see game today. Union at number 7, Warrenton at number 9. Who came out on top, Brew?
Union did.
What was the final?
I want to say it was 4-9. Yep, 4-9.
So Union put a couple more extra runs up, 9-4.
Yep.
Okay.
It's unfortunate they had Jake Kirkpatrick pitching, which he's probably third in that lineup under Carter Martin. And actually, they got some pitchers this year. We had talked about early in the season that we didn't know who was going to be on the mound, but they got Carter Martin, obviously number 1. Collins doing good things. Freshman Keegan Limkle, I always give him. I always talk to him in the hallways talking about how I'm gonna give him a shout out, and he hates it. He doesn't want me to talk about him at all. He pitched over the weekend against Wright City. So, and as I said, Jake Kirkpatrick pitched today against Union. So they have pitchers, they have the stuff to do. But I think Union was definitely kind of a test of might early here in the year, and they fell short to them.
What's his name? Keegan
Limkle. That's
what I thought. Yeah.
He's a freshman this year, so he's not batting for us. He's played a little bit of second base. He's played a little bit of outfield.
Well, they ran
he gets to the
into
mound.
the lefty Logan Hansel today. 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 earned, 3 runs, 1 earned, 2 base on balls and 8 Ks. He's a tough pitcher.
Yeah.
And then Miller came in, threw an inning, 1 strikeout, threw up some zeros. Carnuti, I guess, is his name. Inning pitch, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, a base on balls. That was in the last inning. Austin Haas, Carter Martin was 2 for 4 in the game with 3 runs scored. D. Sylvester, that kid's been hot.
Yeah.
He was 2 for 3 today, had an RBI, so he's still hitting.
Let's see. He went down. Coach Burley had posted he went 7 for 7 with 5 RBIs, and I had texted him early in the day, and I said, I asked him, do you think your performance deserves a helmet sticker? And he said yes. So we're gonna give him a helmet sticker as well. Let's see here. I don't have the box score. You must have.
I got it right
You got
here.
the premium version. I don't get it.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude. I don't know. I don't know what premium version is. I just have the version.
I don't get all those.
Well,
premiums.
I think sometimes coaches give me access.
I see. That's connections. Having connections. Always make connections.
So I appreciate the coaches. I appreciate what they do. So we can talk about their players. Stowe, the left fielder, he was 3 for 4, 3 RBIs. He had a double. That was the only extra base hit. So Union is really just maybe a step above right now. But it was at Union. I'd like to see, I think it'll be fine. I think Warrenton's just fine.
Yeah.
This is an early matchup. You're going on the road, Warrenton. Union at home. After a tough Troy, they proved that they could play with some teams at the Troy Classic.
Yeah,
so
they did.
This was a good early season matchup. I like it.
Yeah.
I know it. 5 runs sounds like that, but it wasn't. I mean, Union put up 4 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning. Until then, it was a 5-4 ball game.
Yeah, just kind of got away from them.
Yeah.
Earlier in the week for Warrenton, they beat Washington 8-1. Carter Martin pitched that game. Hannibal 14-1, and Wright City 16-1 in a doubleheader on Saturday.
Yeah.
Those are some big scores. I think I wanted to talk to you about this a little bit. It's not high school baseball, but have you heard of these torpedo bats that the Yankees are using? Have you heard about these?
No.
These torpedo bats. So they had an MIT major go and redesign the bat for their team. So now
is it legal?
They haven't banned them yet. They put up 9 home runs in a game with them.
Yeah, I saw that.
So they call it a torpedo because the top's a little skinnier and then it widens out and then it's skinny again. But basically they moved the harder part of the bat to what they call the sweet spot.
Yeah.
So people are just getting barrel after barrel and pushing them out there in Yankee Stadium that's already short. So maybe we need to get torpedo bats in high school.
Well, they already have. I think it's fine. I think they already have metal bat. I mean, come on. I think these bats are loaded enough.
Yeah.
I think somebody's going to die if we start doing something.
Yeah, well, it looks like Warrenton's been having some loaded bats because Hawes is batting .500, Colin D. Sylvester 455, Rick Stanley 455, Mason Thompson 455. So
Drew's got it up there on the screen. You can see it.
Yeah, look at that. I mean,
I hadn't heard about it.
It just came out this week. They wrote about it. I wonder if they will ban it though, because I mean, it seems like only the Yankees are doing it, which they put in the work and the research to figure out how to do it. But
so now everybody, I didn't like the Yankees. Everybody's going to hate the Dodgers and the Yankees.
Yeah, instead of spending all the money buying players, they just
went and bought bats.
Yeah, so.
Went to MIT.
I mean, it's like steroids. They got something else nobody else has. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Other than Warrenton in Class 5 for the North, Holt, the newcomers, they didn't play a game last week.
Well, we're not there yet.
Oh, well, we're not there.
Oh no, Class 5. We're talking Class 5.
Hopefully, Class 5.
I'm sorry. Yeah, go.
Hopefully, Holt is in Class 5.
They are Class 5. They are. I messed him up, folks.
They didn't play a game last week at all. After their time in the Troy Classic, they're 1-4 still. Hopefully that week kind of helped them figure out what they need to do, what's different. They haven't gotten into conference play yet, being the new ones here. But they play North tomorrow.
That could be tough. That'll be interesting to see. I mean, they beat some Old South. They were in the Troy Classic, then lost to Union, lost to Troy Buchanan, lost to Seckman. It was a close one. They only lost by 1 run to Howell Central.
Yeah.
So
hopefully with that week off, they can kind of figure out their footing a little more this season. I think they lost a lot of guys in that senior class.
Shout out to Coach Perkle and Coach Anselm. Keep it up, guys. Keep working. And I know they're in the north, but a little different. It's all different for Holt. I mean, they were in the south just a few years ago. Mm-hmm. And so it's interesting to watch this dynamic as it unfolds. And I think it's tough. So, but, John Burroughs, Westminster creeped into the top 20. There's a lot there kind of at the bottom, as we talked about, with Marshfield, Capital City, Jeff City, Carl Junction, Westminster. You have Warrensburg, John Burroughs. And I said this to Evan at the top of the show, before we started the show. And Class 5 is very top heavy. And I think everybody underneath that just kind of, where are you going to go? Who's gonna figure it out? And then the two juggernauts at the top in Willard and Vianney, Summit is right there along with Kearney. It'll be interesting to see if anybody can hang with Willard or Vianney.
Yeah, I think Vianney moving in is definitely a big change. I've been thinking about all these changes with classes and stuff like that, and it's almost like the shifting of the Titans, because you thought of Vianney in Class 6, and you got your big 3 or big 5 up there. Now taking one of those away, everybody's fighting for a piece of trying to shift up a ranking, and so on and so forth. So those moving and Vianney moving down to Class 5. It kind of shakes things up,
This is going to be an interesting week, in my opinion, for Class 5. I think you're going to see some movement. I think everybody's pretty much played out of state. Now they're back in state. I think that's what the schedules look like. You got some more tournaments. And before we get into conference play the following week. So I think that this is going to be an interesting week, and what we're going to see here for this for Class 5. So Class 6 is where we're going to finish. Always fun. The big boys, the ones at the top. Starting off with who's hot and who's not. Well, we all know about Francis Howell, but very little is known about a couple teams around the state, and one is the Staley Falcons. The Staley Falcons are loaded. That is loaded. Mm-hmm. Wait a minute. Hang on. I'm going to go backwards here a second, buddy. I got to do this. Oh, man. Popped up. All these games are ending, so we're getting finals, and it's knocking it down. Wow. I got to go out and come back. Let me see here. I'm in Game Changers, so I got to look and see in some of these games where we're at. We might pull it up here. We'll get to some of these and talk about some games. Lafayette, Lancers 9-4. Midwest Classic is going on. As we said, Nixa won. Marshfield 16-7. Belton, Platte County beat Belton 3-2. Final. Boom. So, wow. I lost all my games here that were showing. I'm going to have to go into each individual one. That's a bummer. Don't like that at all. I didn't like that, how that finished there. Okay, we'll come back to it. Staley, though. Easton Felipe, the Wichita State commit, he's already hitting the cover off the ball, 476, 621, 524, 6 ribbies. Evan Abbott going to Emporia State, he's hitting 524. I mean, this OPS is ridiculous, man. It's 1350 something, or almost 1350. 2 doubles, a triple, 9 RBIs, a run scored, 9 runs scored. Brody Earlbeck, the Iowa commit, he's pitching He's got a sub-1 ERA, 8 innings pitched, 2-0, a .875. His whip is .75. Jack Thomas going to Butler. He's pitched 7 1/3. He's got 15 Ks, a .286 ERA, a 1.69 whip. Staley's going to be hard to beat. You got these teams at the top of Class 6 with Howell, Nixa, Staley. It's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing how Staley continues to roll and how they continue to play. I don't think they're playing today. I know I've got them on here. I'm going to look this up real quick. Staley Falcons, boom, varsity. They were playing Lee Summit North today, and I don't have anything updated on that. They were playing Lee Summit North. Sorry, nothing there. Nothing to see. Moving on. Francis Howell, I believe, has one as well. Fort Zumwalt West won earlier today as well. So you've got Francis Howell beat Lindbergh 5-2. Lindbergh played pretty well. I like Lindbergh. I think they're a pretty solid team. Fort Zumwalt West. Let's see. We're getting some scores here. Boom, there it is. They won 8-1 over CBC. That's a big win, I think. Glendale, I don't think they played today, as we said. Yeah, they were playing Carl Junction. I got nothing here. So we're going to have to wait and see some of these scores. Blue Springs South and Lee Summit West. Right here, folks, who's not is Lee Summit West. They are now 4-4, losing to Blue Springs South 10-0.
Oh.
Yeah. And if we can see the box score, we can see that. Hang on. I'm gonna pull this up real quick. Give me just 1 second, because did I close it over there? I did. I believe I'm trying to remember his first name. I think it's Ashton, but I'm not for certain. This young man who pitched today for Blue Springs South, he is really good, and we're gonna get it right here, right quick. That's what we do. This is live. I don't care. We're taking our time. Ashton. I was close. Ashton Nance, big right-handed pitcher. He threw 5 innings, gave up 2 hits, struck out 7, and Lee Summit West. This is not a bad. I mean, Jackson Aiken was 0 for 2. Katzenberg, who's going over here to SCA. Katzenberg has been hitting 400 on the week. He's got 3 doubles and a home run. Jackson Aiken is hitting 500. He's got a stupid 1,400 OPS, a double, 2 home runs, 6 ribbies, 7 runs scored. Tyler Wood is pitching well. And Tyler Wood, the pitcher, is the only one that hit today. He was 2 for 2.
Yeah,
He had the only 2 hits.
10-0 is not just an off day. That's a problem. You can't have that happen.
Oh my gosh. Young man by the name of Roll started. He went 3 innings, allowed 5 runs, 3 earned, 4 base on balls, and then Mr. Anderson came in behind him. And allowed 5 more runs, 5 earned on a base on ball. So it just kind of is getting worse for Lee Summit West. We're going to be at Blue Springs for Lee Summit West. They're visiting the Blue Springs Wildcats. So I'm looking forward to talking with Coach Meyer.
Yeah, just seeing what happened.
Yeah, see what's going on, see what's happening with this team. They're loaded with talent, and so it'll be. We got them Monday, this coming Monday, not a week from today. We'll be in Blue Springs for Lee Summit West at Blue Springs Wildcats. So, wow, they are just not hot, folks. And if you want to check it out, we did a player spotlight after you're done watching the Lucas Weedholder one. You can check out Jackson Aiken from Lee Summit West. Great conversation with that young man. Really enjoyed the conversation. So I'm looking forward to being over there and seeing what's going on the west side of the state with these two teams. Staley going the opposite direction of Lee Summit West. So how do you figure some of these things? What's your thoughts? Do you follow much of Class 6 in that respect?
So I tend to try and leave Class 6 to Joe because, that's his thing. He's off doing his thing today. I'm not for sure where
But
he
we
is.
got to get – I'm sorry. I should have done it at the top. Thank you for saying real quick. I'm sorry. Joe, get well soon. Joe is at home. He's dealing with pneumonia.
Oh.
Hope you feel better soon, buddy.
Get well, Joe.
We'll see you when you get back healthy.
Yeah, he's kind of our Class 6 guy, I like to call him. But I mean, I don't follow them as much as I do, obviously, as the Class 4 and 5, because being in football and basketball, we're in Class 4 and 5. We're not in Class 6. But Class 6, it's the big dogs. Everybody knows them. Everybody knows who's there. Everybody knows who's good. So, like I had talked about earlier, Vianney moving down to Class 5. It shifts the tides in Class 6. It kind of shakes things up to see who's gonna compete this year. And obviously, you have down years, you have people losing, but you look at Francis Howell, and it's a dynasty. We got dynasties in Class 6 and dynasties in Class 1, at every end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
So Class 6, it had once you go up there and start playing with those guys, they're big dogs. You can't just poke the bear with the Class 6 team. You gotta be ready to compete. So
let's see how DeSmet ended up. Dominic beat DeSmet 4-3 today. As DeSmet continues, there's another team on a spiral, 1-6.
yeah, that's rough.
Coach Canavan struggling there with that squad. That's crazy. That is just crazy. Oh, wow. Francis Howell Central playing Rockwood Summit, Class 5, little clash. Howell Central got a big win. I was at the Howell Central SLU game on Saturday. It was a little chilly, but I love the Friday night lights. They got the lights, the new turf out at Howell Central. Congrats to Beckman and his group. Howell Central beat Summit 4-3. That's a good win for Howell Central. They needed that one. I believe that's Carter Radke at the top of that. It's Carter or Chase, and I can't tell the two of them apart. I'm sorry, fellas. 2 for 3, 2 base on balls. Ethan Collison, 2 for 4. One of the Radke twins, 1 for 5. He had an RBI. Drew Weiss, he's still kind of, I hope he finds it there. Cooper DeManuel, 1 for 3. The DH, Marsh, 2 for 4. So they got it done. And on the mound, it was Pearson, who went 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, no earned runs. So that's interesting there. Defensively, got to clean that up a little bit. But, hey, beating Rockwood Summit, that's a good win for Howell Central. Congrats to those guys. We're looking through here a little bit more just to kind of get – I don't think Grain Valley played today. No. They got Truman on the second. I'm sorry, man. It just weirds me out every time I see it. No offense to him. I don't mean to be rude, but the Cupies, Hickman, it's just strange.
Yeah.
Kearney, as we talked earlier, again, Class 5 playing up. Park Hill South, who's a very good baseball team, lost 5-4 to Park Hill South. Park Hill South is not a slouch team. That's a good baseball team. They're right there in that. And as a well-played baseball game, you got a 5-4. That Park Hill South is a good Class 6 squad. So Kearney competing. That's why you can't look at their record a little bit. You lose to a Park Hill South 5-4, which I think Park Hill South, they're 5-3 on the season. And Park Hill South has had good wins. You know, they lost but see, Park Hill. This is what I mean. Park Hill South got beat by Staley 10-0, and they lost. They lost 5-2 to Blue Springs South. But so Kearney jumping right in, playing with the big dogs. Gotta love it. Lafayette, as we said, had to win today over Timberland. Lee Summit beat Blue Springs, who we're going to see on Monday. Beat Blue Springs 11-3 today. That's a good win for Lee Summit. I think that they're 5-1 on the season. Going to be tough. Neosho Wildcats, folks. You gotta. I don't know if they're for real or not yet, but it's a team that I've been kind of watching. They're 8-1 to start the season. They played Phillips, Exeter. These are teams from outside of the state. They won there. Mainland Regional, Rosemont, Mainland, Mars. They evidently got on one of Elon Musk's rocket, went to Mars and played some ball. And they lost on Mars.
They lost to the Martians. All right.
Yeah, lost to the Martians. Pittsburgh, Kansas. They won 8-1. Grove 5-1. St. Mary's Colgan 11-0. Springdale, they beat Springdale, Arkansas 18-7. So they've been playing all around outside the state. 8-1. They start with Waynesville tomorrow. Then they got Lebanon, Miami, Galena, Central, Glendale. So it'll be interesting to see what the schedule brings for them at this point. Team to watch here is the surprise Neosho. And the other one is the Parkway South Patriots. Oh, man, I thought I had them on here. Parkway South. I thought I was following them. South Patriots. There they are, Varsity Patriots. Boom. They're 5-1 to start. They won today. Wow. They lost. Excuse me. Parkway South lost to Liberty. Liberty is a very good baseball team. Parkway South is Luke Sullivan pitched today. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. I'm sorry. Sullivan did not pitch. I mean, man, look at that. Everybody pitched an inning for Parkway South.
Is that the
Simmons,
Liberty?
Wolf, Heskett, Shanefield. That's going to be there to see if Parkway South can contend. You know, they've got to see if they're going to be able to pitch.
Mm-hmm. It's all about consistency, finding guys who you can trust and stuff like that. Now, is that the Liberty Eagles that they play? I know there's a few different
Liberty
Liberties.
Eagles. I think it was Liberty Wentzville.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
So Liberty Wentzville 10-9. So that's a good win for Liberty. And both those teams, you know, I think Liberty in district, Coach Reeder, shout out, good win against a team there. Because they had lost to Parkway South 3-2 in the
West tournament.
In the St. Charles West tournament. So they turn around and beat South here. So, you know, that's good. Come back 10-9, little slugfest.
Yeah.
Good shout out to Coach Reeder and his group there.
Yeah, I had seen whenever Warrenton held their jamboree, Liberty was out there, and I had seen them, and they got some guys. I think they got a guy that throws 90. Am I wrong? Ryan Dobrats.
Yep. I don't know if he throws 90. I mean, he might have touched it. I'm sure.
I heard somewhere they threw 90, but you know how kids are. They talk
I
things
mean,
up.
He's definitely mid to upper 80s. Probably sits in the mid to upper 80s. He can throw.
Mm-hmm.
Dobrats could be. He has struggled his first outing. He's a sophomore, so we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
They're pitching and working that out, but good win for them. Lot going on. Top 20, again, looking at Class 6. You can check it out on youthbaseballmidwest.com. Neosho jumps into the top 20 on that. North Point, I got North Point coming back in because they started off, they were in Class 5 last year. They're in Class 6 this year. I had them way up in the rankings in Class 5. So I pulled them out of that because, they went to Class 6, and I didn't rank them in Class 6. Just kind of watched to see how they would continue to play. And they're 7-3 right now, North Point is. Truman's another one. SLU. I'm going to watch SLU. I didn't put them in yet. They're 5-1. I want to see. I got to see SLU play against Howell Central. They beat Howell Central late. That game was back and forth. Howell Central, nothing else, man. That is a gritty baseball team. You got to really come and beat them. And they did. SLU beat them 5-1, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it will. It'll definitely see how they try and find their way up in the rankings and see how far they can try and push it this year.
Republic with a big win today. Ozark back. They had a rough start. They're 6-2. Park Hill South, as I said, they're 5-3. Lebanon, I don't think Lebanon plays a tough enough schedule. That'll be interesting to watch.
Is that Lebanon down kind of near Springfield?
Yeah, Lebanon, Missouri. Yeah, it's right there on 44.
Yeah, I got a trailer. We got
Bennett
a trailer
Springs,
down there with
right?
Bennett Springs.
Yeah,
Grew up
baby.
down there catching fish. So,
Yep.
So,
yeah, my family actually. I have family that lives in Lebanon still. My dad is born in Lebanon.
really?
Yeah, I have a couple of siblings that were born down
Yeah.
there.
Whenever I haven't been down there in a while. I probably need to. I need to get back out trout fishing.
Yeah.
Been,
There you go.
Been bass fishing,
Ooh,
but
trout fish.
I always remember as a kid driving past the school, and I was like, I've never heard of these people before. So.
Hey, look, man, it's down there. Fox is another one that'll be interesting to see. Hey, this is moving week, I think, where people are going to you're going to see some separation.
Yeah, they kind of start to find and
before you get into district.
they
or
try and define themselves
conference.
and figure out which pitcher's going to pitch where, what your lineup's going to be, who's good at this, who's better at that. So it's kind of that week where week 1 you got the first week jitters and stuff like that. You don't know what the season could hold. Week 2 you start ironing out some of the problems and really figuring out what's going to work for you this year and any changes that need to be made. So
Yeah, absolutely. Well, next week, guys, remember, we won't be here for this. We'll be live streaming a baseball game at this time. Well, it'll probably be over by then. Probably. We'll be in Blue Springs live streaming the Lee Summit West game, one of our Missouri showcases of the K.C., Kansas City Suburban Conference. So tune in for that. Watch that game. That'll be fun. If you're not at a game, tune in, Youth Baseball Midwest, watch the ball game. You can also watch the games on demand. You can go back and watch the Blair Oaks game against St. Francis Borgia. You can go watch that. All of our games are up there still. You can go back and watch. This week, Friday Night Lights, our first St. Louis Suburban game of the week is on Friday at Baldwin. We've got the rivalry game between Webster Groves and Webster Groves Statesmen and the Kirkwood Pioneers. Kirkwood, over the last few years, though, has kind of owned this one. Mm-hmm. So it'll be interesting to see Coach Wiggins. I love this matchup. Now it's even better. Coach Wiggins has been great, part of our program, coming on, being a contributor. Really enjoy having – you can leave that up there, Drew. Oh, it's up there. I saw. Okay, I get it. Drew's like, dude, just do the show, man. I got it, baby. Stay in your lane, bro. Anywho, I could just see it, though. It didn't help my visual on my side. That's all. But Kirkwood has got a new head coach. The young man that we had him on. You can go watch the coach's preview. Mr. Max Spitzmiller. I've known Max for a long time. His son, he played with my son some baseball when they were little. So it's kind of cool watching this with Dave Wiggins and then this young man taking the head coaching position at Kirkwood. It's going to be a lot of fun for us. I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, with that rivalry being a little new to baseball, does it get chippy in baseball rivalries?
Yeah, it can. Yeah.
Because
definitely gets chippy.
Being in football and basketball,
that one definitely gets chippy.
Yeah, I know that's a pretty big one. I just didn't know how, because you can chirp in the dugout all you want, but then you see like in sometimes in college and in the MLB these benches clear, which I don't think any high schooler is going to do that. But I just didn't know how chippy and competitive these games really feel since you're one off.
These two teams want to beat each other badly, So that always makes for fun stuff.
Because in football, you just go lay a hard hit and then. So at the end of the day, I've seen some brawls in my time at Warrenton High School. I've had to pull people out.
Oh man, high school baseball rivalries. Let's go. It's that time. It's kind of a rivalry week for us in this respect. I don't know about Lee Summit West and Blue Springs, that one, but here with Webster Groves, Kirkwood, then Tuesday, Howell and Fort Zumwalt West is.
That's a juggernaut.
Yeah, they don't like they want to beat each other very badly. That's really contentious. And then on Wednesday, it's another one. Eureka and Lafayette. Another two. Those three games are very much rivalry games. They have a lot of soup in them. There's some tension in these games.
Yeah, unfortunately for Warrenton, our rival is Wright City, and we've swept them in every sport this year that I can think of. We beat them 15, 16 to 1 over the weekend, and that was at Hannibal. So didn't even really get to see that one, but we've always had that kind of chippiness, Warrenton versus Wright City stuff. And we used to actually do like teacher staff games. Yeah. Like a staff basketball game and stuff like that, but we've kind of ended that because the beef is kind of real. Even the teachers kind of have beef. So
yeah. So here we're finished with the scoreboard. As we said, Blue Springs South 10 to Smithville over Class 6 St. Joseph 3-0. St. Dominic, as we said. Zumwalt North takes care of Rittner. Rittner's just been getting pounded. Liberty North. Excelsior Springs 12-1 over Kansas City North. Parkway Central got a win over Pattonville. So that's interesting. There it is, Staley 2-1 over Lee Summit North. This is all Class 6, basically. We don't have anything down here. We're kind of out. That's kind of where it ends right there. Let's see, Class 5, if we got what we can see here. Pacific, 10-0 over New Haven. Northwest, Cedar Hill over Parkway North, 19-0. We already talked about it. We won't say it again.
Yep.
There you go. Oak Park, 10-4 over Winnetonka. That's over on the Kansas City side. That's what we got there so far on Class 5. Class 4, let's see, Skyline, Class 3 over Buffalo, 6-0. California goes down to North Callaway, 9-2. Battle of undefeated teams. North Callaway stays undefeated with a good win there. You got St. Clair beating Potosi. That's two Class 4 teams. What are we? Oh, yeah, we are in Class 4. There you go, Brian. St. Clair, it's a good win. Winfield over Clopton, as we said. So that's kind of where we know that. Fulton beat Eldon. Duchesne, I think they beat Hazelwood West, if I remember correctly, seeing that on the Game Changer. We're looking in Missouri State High School Activities Association. Class 3, Woodland over Bell City. There's that three back-to-back state championship. Bell City struggling. Well, that's a Class 3 school. They're playing up. Chaffee beats Kelly 3-0. They stay undefeated, 5-0 or 5-0. Excuse me. Lawson, Class 3 school, 6-2. They are 8-0. Lawson, we've seen Lawson. I think they were in one of the Final Fours. It'll be interesting to see how Scott City and Bernie. Hopefully we get that score. We'll update that. It's a couple of 5-0 teams going after each other. See what gives. That's some scores. Class 3, Class 2. Pretty much the same. They play back and forth. Clopton is a Class 2 school there. St. Vincent over Crystal City, 10-4. Good buddy. Had to do it. I couldn't help it. Louisiana, 18, just right up the road there on 79. 18-0 over Wellsville, Middletown. There you go. Class 1. Let's see if we got some scores. Yes, we do. Class let's see here. Nope. All right. There you go. We'll get into some of that. Hey, I hope you enjoyed the show. Remember, check out the top 20 rankings on Youth Baseball Midwest. You can read the stories. We got the MCC one up as well. We didn't talk about that. Before Joe went down, he wrote a nice piece about St. Louis University High School. Check that out. It is online as well. We appreciate you tuning in. Evan.
There we go.
Good stuff, buddy.
Show 2 in the books.
In the books. For my dude Evan Schenck here, all you pitchers, keep throwing strikes, and hitters,
Live big and hit nukes.
I like it. We'll see you all next time. Have a great day in the Lord.